guess I'll start. George and Charlotte, woo, just
Streamy.
they insane, but like beautiful. I don't. Their devotion to each other is insane. They love each other. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah,
they love each
yeah.
other. They love each
love.
other. Those people are in love. They are in love. I don't know what else to say. I think their love story is so beautiful. I'm so sad that we're not gonna see more. Like it pains me because I just love them. I think they're. I guess we'll probably talk about it more because I kind of don't want to spoil the favorite stuff. So, but
that's fair.
I think, and I'll speak for myself. I won't say we'll still talk about this later, but they are one of my favorite couples ever. So we will talk more about that later. But I think their romance is so beautiful. And then the tragedy of their, like, how it ends essentially because of how we know that George doesn't get better. His condition only worsens. And Charlotte's actually kind of forced to stay away from him quite a lot, whether it be because of royal duties or because, I don't know, safety. A lot of people forgot that safety. In season 1, he was seeming like himself and they were going to have dinner together. But then he asked her where their daughter was, and that's one of their deceased daughters, their late daughters that had passed away. And he started becoming pretty aggressive and almost attacked Charlotte, thinking she was responsible for killing his child. So he's not all there, and it's like it's not even just not he's not all there. He's also not. He's pretty volatile, is what we're getting. So I think to see that scene where he was able to become like lucid, I guess is the right word, maybe. And they were able to talk to each other and like thank each other for years of love. I really hope that his condition didn't worsen until very late in their life. Like I in my mind, but I know it's not true because I can tell by the trauma that her kids have that it doesn't seem like it went well. But
no, I think when we saw it like pretty bad, like even when they were just like even when they're at the start of their marriage, I don't think it improved.
Nope.
But I will say I really like the word you used to describe their relationship, like devoted. I think that, and I'm not an expert on matters of the heart and love, but I do think though that not every day probably feels like a love story, not every day is a Bridgerton episode where, I hate you, I love you, like every day, you know what I mean? Sometimes it is really just I'm devoted to you and we just can't be in the same side of the palace, if you live there, if you live in a palace or whatever you want to call it. But like, I think it's just like with the circumstance that they're in, I think the love can be there, but I think it's the devotion that's what's kept everything strong. And I think Charlotte, we've described her as resilient, we've described her as intelligent and brilliant and everything. I think it's her devotion that is a character trait of hers to George and to what his rule and line means to like the world and to her. I think that was the most fascinating part in itself, and that didn't waver. But I don't think her devotion wavered. I think other character traits might have wavered a little bit. I think she lost some of that warmth after having like 15 children who all kind of eventually become like a little disappointing. But look at their circumstance too. I think everything is like you said the word intergenerational trauma that they're all experiencing. And I think it's like already like hard on these children. They have a father who like his mental illness like has like put
a barrier, let's say
barrier on them. Most of them are either white passing or are black. Like they are in society, they cannot produce the heirs that their mother is expecting. Like it's like all these things, right? And so so I think that's very interesting. But as a couple is in their relationship, I think they were just like this really devoted couple, and that was really nice. And I enjoyed all 6 episodes of that show. Like it was fantastic. And I am sad too, and we might not get more of them unless in the spin-offs, because we got Lady Danbury and Violet in their spin-off. Maybe we'll see them again.
I know.
Maybe.
I know.
And maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see.
I'm hoping. I know, me too. Because I know that they're like, because I've seen the way that their children grow up. And I think their children are valid to have their feelings. Like, for sure, their mother has turned cold.
Absolutely.
But I am still holding out hope. I find it hard to believe that young Charlotte was cold with her kids. I feel like she was. Yeah. They probably don't remember, which is fair. Like, I think she probably would have, especially as well in that time, they really didn't take care of their kids like that. Like, that's not even like when it came to
they had like nannies and
aristocrats and like upper like rich people, and let alone royalty. They weren't really attending to their kids like that. However, I think it would be interesting to see them like navigate the first parts of parenthood, because like,
for sure.
I just love them.
Yeah, I agree.
I just love them. I think, I just want a little, there's like, I will say, a lot of people, like, obviously we talk about like, sequel, season 2, like, whenever we love something, we want like more of it usually. I do think their love story is complete. Like, I don't think there's anything to be explored. Right. I think it would only be like fun cameo type vibes. Like, it's not. Like, when we're talking season 2, we mean like about Lady D or about Violet. Yeah. I think the Lady D story is like just started, to be honest. Like, not even close to done.
They can't leave us with that. No, that crap.
Please no. No. Let me find the real love of her life, please. Yes, please. Yeah. So I think that it could allow us to have some cameos there as well, but I don't think that they would need like an arc again. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Not like more of or not like a big arc. It's just like they would be the equivalent of like the other characters in their show instead. Like, it would be they would be the side characters as well.
For sure.
But also, I will follow India Armatifio and Corey Milkers to the ends of the earth. So whatever you guys do next, I'm watching. I will be there. I know Corey got casted for King Lear.
Love that.
I don't even know the story, but I'm seated. I don't care. I'm seated. So I will be there.
Another king.
Yes. India, hit me up. I will watch whatever you're on as well. And Arsema as well. You let me know, and I will be watching. Okay?
Oh, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Just
imagine they listen to this show.
Oh, they definitely will, for sure.
I'll DM it. We'll DM the link.
We'll just be like, in case you wanted to know, girl.
Why do I feel like Corey would watch it? I'm saying his name as if we're friends. I'm like, Corey's gonna watch this.
He's gonna listen. Yeah, he's definitely gonna love it. Yeah.
We get like
Corey. Sued. Yeah. That's
okay.
And by the way, when you get to the George part, just ignore how much we were giggling, because it's just like, whatever. It's fine.
It was just like thirst. Like pure thirst for you.
It's fine.
But yeah.
Before we get into our favorite stuff, fun fact. One of our like lines that we say to each other is, "I'm very good with buttons." We do talk about that. Did you know? I don't know if you've seen this interview. You might have, because you're as insane as I am. Yeah. But Corey Milkrease talked about how that line he was like shooketh by. He was like, he didn't think he could deliver it properly, because he was like, Georgie is not a playboy. He's like, I don't see Georgie talking like this. So he did multiple takes of the... Well, I mean, you do multiple takes when you're a freaking actor. That's just how it works. But he did multiple takes with different tones. And most of the tones were more, like, don't worry, I'm very good with buttons. Like a nervous, very good with buttons. Like, oh, no, like, don't worry. Like, I'm good with buttons. Like a slip up. And then he's like, but they only took the take where he said it very seriously. he was disappointed by that. But
that's so funny.
Hilarious. Isn't that hilarious? Isn't that fun?
Yeah. I like that he got invested in his character to know those things.
Right. I actually agree with him. I don't think like that is that was like a Bridgerton line rather than a George line.
Yes.
And I get why they did it, because slay. But Georgie would not. He would be like, But also, George has Riz, so it's not like...
He has Riz.
It's not like super out of the question, but I get it. But also, like, where are you practicing with buttons? That's what I thought. Yeah. Immediately. I said...
And can I ask you a surprise random question that we did not discuss?
Yeah.
Who has more Riz of the Bridgerton?
Oh, no!
You can think about this. I can ask you again.
Yeah.
But... Who has more Riz of Bridgerton series, and then, of course, the Queen Charlotte season? Is it Simon, Anthony, or George?
George.
And I'm George. Period. George.
Yeah,
period.
yeah,
Okay.
it is. It is. It is.
Yeah,
it is.
yeah, you're
because,
right.
Yeah, it is. Because I was gonna say, oh, like which one would work on me?
Yeah.
And it's George still.
It's George.
It's George.
Yeah, it's George.
Because his is like endearing.
Right.
Like he goes.
Oh,
I think Anthony's smooth. He is. He's smooth, but he's too smooth. He's a smooth operator, and he's a little panicked. And I feel like I'd be a little scared. Like I'd be like, oh.
Yeah. I think I would know what to do.
Right.
If Anthony just like came on to me. You know what I mean?
Right?
I think I would be so like, I won't lie to you, probably nervous because I'd be like, scared. I'd be really scared.
Yeah.
That's why I think I agree with you with the Riz piece of like George. Right. He's got like Riz in the way that like it's not scary and makes or overwhelming, if that makes sense. Like
it's like safe.
Yeah.
Like what is it? Anthony, it's like he's trying to get you into bed. Like that's the risk he's giving. Like he's
with his bedroom eyes.
He's finna seduce. That's what he said. Oh, the ladies.
He
the
did,
way
though.
ladies
He
could
did
be seduced.
seduce us.
He did seduce. So he was going
us.
for seduction, and that's what he did. Like that's not.
Yes.
But George can do seduction with. I'm very good with buttons. But he can also give you. Are you gonna climb over this wall? Or are you gonna marry me? Are you gonna meet me at the altar in your white dress? Like he.
Yeah, he's like, what's up?
That, right?
What we doing?
Especially like the part where he goes like he's saying all this cute stuff about him, like he's like, oh, I'm very good with mutton. No, he didn't say that. Sorry, this is like a third meeting where he's like, oh, I like mutton, I hate fish, like I like science, blah blah blah, and then he goes, this is where I was like, wow, this guy. He went, and I'm very nervous about marrying a girl I just met, but like I can't really show that, so like it's like there's a vulnerability there as well. Because, like, that is real. Aside from him, kind of putting on the charm, like, we do know, like, that's honest. He is nervous about marrying a girl he's just met. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's really sweet. Oh, this man has Riz. Oh, and his smile.
Yeah. He just, like, melts the hearts. Anyway, no, thank you for answering that question. I know that was, like, a side one, but I think we had to, for the viewers. Or the listeners,
how would you rank the Riz, though? I feel like I know.
The Riz?
Yeah, like
oh my
3
goodness.
guys.
Yeah, I think in third place we have like Simon.
Yes,
that man did not do me. I was like, okay, very handsome though.
Reggae, stunning.
That man,
beautiful,
stunning,
man. Beautiful man.
They cast the most beautiful men.
They do. But his Riz, scary, subpar. My
it was,
He said, "Oh, all I would need is 3 seconds in you in a drawing room." I'd be like, "What the? Are you serious?"
All right. I'd be like, "Sit down, sit down."
Okay.
No, thank you. So I would say, I put Simon in last place. I would put Anthony next, mainly because of what you just said. Like, I think it's like an overwhelming seduction. Yeah. Versus Riz, I don't think needs to be an overwhelming seduction. I think that's his own thing. I think George has like the right amount of like, girl, you do you, but also I like you.
Yeah.
Like,
ain't nobody shaking.
He's like, I'm gonna let you do what you gotta do, but also come back to me.
That's what he literally said. He said, "You can climb over that wall. You can come marry me. Like I'll let you do whatever you want."
He's like, "I'll let you do what you want." I'm like, I would also be like, I will meet you there. I will meet you at the altar. Walk me there.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
No, I think that's a good. Okay,
that's a great question. Don't worry. Don't worry. I would like to point out that it's only me and Dom talking, and this episode's still going to be as long as.
Oh my god. We have no accountability here.
No self-control. Anyways.
No.
All right. Favorite episodes.
Yes.
I have 3. I can't lie.
Oh, okay.
Because I'm a cheater. Yes, I'm aware that there's only 6 episodes, and I'm putting 3, which is like literally half of them. Again, on the self-control piece, none. Anyways.
Yeah, none.
Yeah. My favorite episodes were episode 3, 4, and 6. If I had to order it, I'm going to order it in rewatchability, not actual, like, critical acclaim. It would be 6, 3, 4 in terms of watchability. I mean, rewatchability.
Yes.
Yeah. But those are my favorite episodes. I don't think I need to explain myself. It's just,
those were awesome episodes.
Thank you.
my favorite episode is episode 6 as well. So we agree.
Yep.
Things are aligned.
Yep.
Somewhere.
This is a little scary. What's going on?
Yeah. The stars have aligned for us. Something happened where we're on the same page a lot. Or I've just been siding with you more. I don't really know. But
I don't know. No, I feel like they've just been coming out with like undeniable stuff as of late.
Good stuff.
Like, you know,
that's
like season 2, we were like, oh my gosh, weird.
Yeah.
Which actually, you know what? Season 2 was quite polarizing, like amongst the fans. So it is good that we're on the same side, because imagine we could have really been at each other's throats, like, because you feel passionately about season 2. You either hate it or you love it.
I love it. I love season 2.
Yeah.
Right. But no, episode 6, favorite episode, tied everything well.
Yeah. What do you like about, I guess, what do we like about episode 6? I guess we could talk about that just like in general. The love confession. It was giving. I think also, I feel like this was episode 6, aside from the other Bridgerton, like compared to the other Bridgerton couples, I feel like episode 6 let us see like a domestic George and Charlotte a lot more. Yeah. And like to see how they work together. Like not even in just like it worked out immediately, like they did stumble and fall, but then we see like how they will work together in the future, and you like believe it. So I think that's beautiful.
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. So good.
I think like justice was like kind of served in a way too. Like, you know, like they had their happy ending, even though we know there's like complications. Like the scene under the bed. Like I shed a tear, and I don't cry for anybody. Like, well, okay, that's not true. I cry when I watch shows, but like I don't just cry for any scene. Like that, I think that's like one of the only scenes I've cried in for like the Bridgerton and now the spinoff, like in the series overall. This Bridgerton verse, that scene made me emotional. Like under the bed, like it was so sweet. Like,
I was sobbing. Sobbing.
Yeah.
It's only till now. Like I think I just I rewatched it like not too long ago for. Not for this podcast, just for my amusement, but as well as this podcast. And that was the first time I could watch it without crying, because I just kept, I literally edited a video for the show and I was crying while I was editing. It's pathetic. Yeah. It's pathetic. I just can't. It's such an emotional scene.
Yeah.
It's just so good.
It was just like a really good, and I really like too what you said about like the domestic piece. I think that's something we like lacked in season 1 and 2 of Bridgerton. Right. Like we didn't really get that. Like we saw the playful scene between Kate and Anthony, and we've already talked about this before, but like the letdown of Daphne and Simon. Like they're like, it seemed like they were less in love when they were married.
Exactly.
Right? So I think it was nice to see that.
And I feel like it's such a missed opportunity, because I like that, like that was one of the parts where I liked about Bridgerton season 1, like having none of the Bridgertons existing at the time, was the first time like we saw a couple fall in love and then get married. Like usually we don't see that. We usually just like they got married in episode 4, and I was like, oh, we still have a lot of episodes to go. And I was like, okay, we're actually gonna like be in this marriage thing. And then I'm like, maybe this is why they don't go into marriages, because
why we just
it wasn't giving. I'm really hoping good things for the future seasons of Bridgerton in terms of Anthony as well, because they will be like in the background being married. So I think that's going to be really, really fun, and I really hope to see them domestically, because we know that their story is going to end well versus like George and Charlotte. We have to see them because it's kind of short-lived, but I don't know. Still 10 out of 10. Okay. Yeah. Favorite quotes or quotes.
I have so many, which I know is like,
it's fine.
Okay, I'll just
go.
I
have a lot.
Okay, first iconic line is Sorrow's prayers. I think that's like brilliant. Do you know how many times I would just say it because I loved it? Oh, I irritated Siri on my watch. Oh, okay. So sorry, Siri. Girl. She didn't like that. But yeah, Sorrow's prayers. brilliant, like so funny to me. Like I just really love that. I loved in the first episode, that was in the first episode. The next line from the first episode was a young Charlotte saying, "Whales died so I could look like this." Just like so like funny, like it showed me she's got a sense of humor. And I think that's when I was that's why I just liked her so quickly. I'm like, oh, this girl's funny, like she's good. And then of course I want to be gardened, like, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. And I really liked that line. I know we talked about this with like Reynolds and Brimsley. It was that, who could I ever find who would be free to spend a lifetime with me? I thought that was like really beautiful, though. Like really pretty, really beautiful line. And I think it's kind of like a theme for the show itself. Right. You know? Devotion. So yeah. So I liked some humorous lines, like the whales died so I could look like this. Loved it. It was good. Funny. But then I also liked that line too. Yeah. So, okay. Those are some favorite quotes.
That's good. Okay.
Thank you.
For comedic quotes, I have some too. I loved, for some reason, this like really like underrated one, I think, but like I loved when Charlotte is talking to Lady Danbury about George, like in episode 3, and she's like, he's a lying liar who lies. Yes. Like, oh, swear, girl.
The brilliance.
Yeah, I was like, I literally say it all the time. Who lies. I go, like, now I just say it like, oh, I'm a lying liar who lies. Anyways, like, I just put it in my sentences.
So good.
I also love the episode 5 when Violet is talking to Lady Danbury, and she goes, I'm becoming dangerous, Agatha.
Oh, so yeah, funny. That was funny.
Her horniness is dangerous. Yes. I almost asked a footman to lie on top of me today. Like, I just thought so funny. So funny. Favorite serious lines? I think obviously the big iconic, I will stand with you between the heavens and the earth. I will tell you where you are. Do you love me? Oh,
loved it.
Oh my gosh.
I got chills, Anne. Oh my gosh. Oh. I just got chills. I love that line.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. So I will tell you where you are. Girl, tell me where I am. Because I can't.
Tell me where I am.
And then him saying, like, from the moment I saw you trying to go over the wall, I have loved you desperately.
Yes. Desperately.
I can't do this. I can't do this anymore. God. And another one I really, really liked. Aside from, obviously, the no one told me you'd be this beautiful. I did love that in the first episode. But this one I really, really loved is, I think this is where I'm like, okay, I'll talk about this later, actually. But the other quote that I really, really loved was in episode 5 when Charlotte says, I care not for his sanity. I care for his happiness. I care for his soul. Let him be mad if mad is what he needs. Oh, my gosh. That was like,
great line.
Devotion is there. Oh, beautiful.
Like a poeticism to her.
I just, who, I'm not a man of poetry. All these people are. All these Bridgerton people are just poets. Yeah. You need to calm down.
They really are.
It's just
Isn't it crazy how like the writers just like shock you sometimes?
Right.
Like, they could be so off and then just so right. And do it so well. Like it's
just crazy. Okay. Yeah. Favorite scene
is, I think we've talked about this before. It is the first dance at Lady Danbury's ball. It's in episode 3, Even Days. It's when I Ain't Got You. If I Ain't Got You is playing, they debut as a couple when they're talking in bed and she's like, our walls are too high. We need to get out. Yeah. And basically George is like, okay, yeah, I'll do it. What do you need? Like, that was actually a really good scene too in itself. Like when he's like, what do you need? And she's like, we need to let people in. Like, we need other people and not just each other, which they do, but like they need other people to get out of that world. And that scene, it was like, kind of like, I know we see a lot of ball dance like scenes with the show, with this like franchise and everything, but there was something about If I Ain't Got You was just like a beautiful like just like everything in general, like kind of leading up to it, and then they played like traditional classical music while they danced anyway, and it was such a sweet moment knowing that that's how they were debuting their relationship. Also, Charlotte, they both looked amazing. Like George had this like blue, like, I don't even know what to call it, like it's like a tunic. I don't even know. But it was like he was like
waistcoat.
It looked so good on him. And then Queen Charlotte, like she was in this like light pink, like sparkled like gown, and it just like she just looked stunning. Like they both just looked perfect. That scene, I like could watch it over and over. I don't know what it is about every dance scene, the eye contact. Like whoever choreographed this, like these dances, they just do it so well. That is one of my favorite scenes to watch. Yeah.
You know what? That was not what I wrote down, but you're right. Like you're right. No, you're correct. You're correct. Because it was so good because they like he's like, you never have to thank me. Like we're a team. Yeah. And even his racist mom was like, this black girl is making him happy. Like it was giving. That was such a good scene. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I go back and forth between either their first meeting.
Yeah.
Or
that's a good scene.
Their last dance together at, like with To Nobody Gets Me. I just love. I think also like their last dance scene kind of parallels a little bit of Cantonese like last dance.
Yeah,
where she's like, it's just me. Like I don't care about anybody else. Just look me. Yeah. It's just me. And I think what actually shocked me, I don't know why it shocked me, but when George like at the end of their dance, he went in for a kiss like in front of everyone. I was shocked because like back then you're not supposed to do that. Like it's not like it's considered improper and there's no decorum. But he was just like overwhelmed by his love for Charlotte. Yeah. And he's like, I gotta do this. Like F you everybody else. Like I thought it was so beautiful and how he starts off really nervous, but then they end up like smiling and I just think they didn't do much talking in that scene, but there was a lot of like their eyes and like she would give him like before they started the dance, she gave this like eyebrow thing of like, we got this, like you don't like, we got this. And I thought it was so beautiful, so moving. And it's just I just think that that song was beautiful as well with the dancing. And then their first scene, I just feel like their first scene and their entire wedding is just like so iconic. I feel like why I love that scene is because it just reminds me so dramatic of why I love romance. I think it literally it does. It's just like to see people connect just like organically, beautifully, and just like they have so much hope like in that moment, and I think that's like it's almost like first love, like just like whimsicalness, like just like wow, like I can't believe I met you. And like almost I think it's like we don't talk enough about like how almost like fate brought them together. Like think about this. Augusta wanted them to get just some foreign princess who wouldn't ask questions, and she accidentally got someone a little darker than she wanted, as she said, very brown. And George like did not want to marry. Oh, I forgot. That's also one of my favorite lines where he's like, he's like, Charlotte, stop. I never wanted to marry. Like it's clear that this man did not anticipate Charlotte coming into his life like at all. Like he thought he was just gonna get some girl that he was gonna have to like really keep at a distance and just marry for duty. Like I think he just really didn't anticipate like wanting a marriage with someone and wanting it with Charlotte. So I think just like the whimsicalness and the hope that they have, and like all the crap that is about to hit them like after that episode, it's just nice to see how like happy and like in love that they seem at the beginning. So I think that was beautiful. I
like that. That was good, Anne. I liked that a lot.
Thank you. Okay, fave song / cover.
I'm so excited about this. So I think it's in the last episode. It's Nobody Gets Me. SZA's Nobody Gets Me. At the dance. At the ball. Their dance at the ball. It's so good. And I think it's like in one of like I think I listen to it pretty often, like when I'm doing work, just in general. I just think it's so lovely.
It's beautiful.
I will say, second to If I Ain't Got You, and then I actually liked their Halo cover. It was really good.
It was beautiful.
Like, it was so beautiful.
I loved it.
It's like you recognize it right away. I remember with Nobody Gets Me, it took me a minute. I'm like, wait a second, is this SZA? Like,
right. I also was like, what? This is too recent. Like that's what I immediately thought. Yeah.
It was like new. So I was like pretty impressed because I remember season 2's like Bridgerton. It wasn't the soundtrack wasn't giving as much as like the first season, I remember, but there were some like iconic one like gems, The Signs of Times, and there were some, like you said, gems. But no, I really liked Nobody Gets Me, and If I Got You and Halo. I think those are, I know you said to list the favorite, but those three were so good. But if I could pick the number one that could like listen to forever, if it's the only one I'm allowed, it would be Nobody Gets Me.
Nobody Gets Me. I actually, I would say my top two are actually, and this is just like from musical standpoint more, was Halo. I really liked Halo. And I liked Deja Vu a lot.
Deja Vu was good.
In George's episode, I just liked the way that the strings were giving, and I just like the dynamics of the song. They like played it really well, and it was short. Like they didn't play it for a long time, but I like listened to the full song. Very well done. So I think I have to say, in general though, I'm a very like original soundtrack type of girl. I love myself a score. I love that, and I think the score for this show was beautiful. Like in general, like just. Especially like one of my favorite songs like in the show or scores was the last song that they played for George and Charlotte, like their theme when they're under the bed, and like it's just like I can listen to that and start crying, please. So beautiful. Okay, favorite costume. You've kind of answered that a little bit with Charlotte's ball look. But if you have another one, you can always maybe a Lady D look as well. Maybe I
was just gonna say like of like I know my favorite like Charlotte look.
Right. I can go first. What you think?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
My favorite costume is actually Charlotte looks beautiful like all the time.
Yeah.
But my favorite is probably her wedding look. I just have never seen an afro on the aisle. I feel like it's sad to say, but it's true. Like I've never seen an afro out for a wedding, and I feel like obviously it's just like I don't know, this show is so amazing like for other reasons, but the fact that it like centers Black women as the show is like obviously dawns on me quite a lot, and I think that scene shows like it's not only that it centers Black women, but it like makes it's not like they took a role that was going to be for anybody and then they put Black women in it. Like, no, they made this like a Black woman's role, including like there's a wedding and she's going to wear her hair out like the way she would, with like Bantu knots and like the tiara placed in them. Like, I just think that's so beautiful. And I don't think it's ever been done before on TV, at least like that, like majestic looking thing. And that's just the kind of imagery that I would love to have more of in media, of just like regal royalty, but like make it blackety black. So I love that. I think that's my favorite costume. Anytime the women were wearing purple though was a slay. Like Lady Danbury wore purple, I think, on her little outing with Adolphus, and also when she like broke down, I think in her meeting with Augusta. That was beautiful. And Charlotte wore purple when she went to tell off Augusta. Oh, there's a theme there of telling off Augusta in purple there. But when she, after in episode 4, after she discovers George's condition, she's wearing the most beautiful purple dress. Those are my favorite costumes.
I know what dress you're talking about, and I was like just going to say that like it was like a pinkish purple. It's not like a Barbie pink, but it's like this like, I don't even know what color that is. Like it's just like a
magenta
stunning...
almost, maybe.
It was Lady Danbury's hats that I really liked.
I love
a
the
lot.
Hats this
like
season
her,
well.
She wears a good hat.
She
looks good. So I would say like next to Queen Charlotte, I actually very much enjoyed Lady Danbury's
costuming,
like costumes, and you're right. She looked stunning in purple.
Even her wedding, not her wedding, her
the ball
morning attire. No, her morning attire with a veil. Sickening, bro. Sickening.
Yeah. She's beautiful. Beautiful women on this show. But the costumes. I still think though my number one is Charlotte at the at Lady Danbury's ball. It's the pink. Dress. I think about it. I know I've mentioned it many times to people and to you. I love that dress.
Yeah. So. Actually, I think I prefer her last ball look. I won't lie, for talking balls. I think that one's my I guess I just really like when the afro's out, because I think she had braids for the that ball, which was still pretty beautiful. But I don't know. I love the costumes in this period much more than the Regency era, and I think that's like that's obviously they have to be kind of accurate, but I wish that they kind of wore this kind of stuff, because like that's what I think of like when I think period piece. I'm like looking for poofy dresses, but I understand that, you know, that's not what it was at the time. So I think it was that's almost a treat of having the Queen Charlotte era, that we can see those kind of costumes, because they're a lot more extravagant and like, you know, beautiful and elaborate, especially hats as well. Like the hats were so good, like giving. I need to get me those hats, like the sun hats that the women would wear when they were like outside. Ugh, sickening. All right, we are going to wrap this up, I promise, guys. Jeez. So how would you rate the show if you had to give it a score, like a grade?
Okay. I'm giving it a letter grade, correct?
Yes.
It would be... I really liked it. I would give it an A. Only reason I'm not giving it an A+, and maybe I'm being very generous because I'm trying to like think of like everything the show encompassed and like what we said about the characters. Right. I think George and Charlotte truly are the reason why it's getting an A, like their story. I am so disappointed with like Lady Danbury's story. Like it just like, I think that's why I can't fully give it an A+. But in terms of like the show itself, it's an A. It was so good. And like, I think I've rewatched it more than potentially season 2 of Bridgerton, which is saying something.
No way! That's crazy.
I think so. Because like I watched it, you know, when you watch it the first time for like the surprise, the spontaneity, you watch it again to really get into it. And then you watch it out of comfort. So I think I've almost watched it probably more. Wow. Like it's crazy.
That's wild. Yeah, I actually 100% look at this. This is agreeing. Oh,
wow.
I literally agree with your rating. I give it an A. I would have given it an A+ if like honestly they could have had Lady Danbury's story minus the Lord Ledger thing, actually. Yeah. And I probably would have given them an A+. I still would have wanted like a love story for her, but at least I would have been like, oh, there was no ridiculousness. But I think like to me the Lord Ledger part as well just made her story feel like even more of like kind of like a gimmick. That part, at least the love part. I think all the parts where she's with Charlotte, like I've said, or the parts where she's fighting for equality, completely valid, completely well done. But all the parts where like she was messing around with Lord Ledger, like that part, it just felt gimmicky rather than like actually trying to explore her as a character. To me, it was giving like shock value. Like I don't know, it's just not my favorite. So that's fair. It's getting an A for that. But wow. It is I have rewatched it more times than season 2. Yeah. But yeah, I'm shocked that you have, because you're like a rewatcher. Like if y'all don't know Dom is a rewatcher. Yes. Like
I am. Yeah. I love it.
Yeah, that's great. Okay. Last question, which might be the I don't know why we left the longest, maybe scariest question for last. Ranking the couples. Okay. Yes. I'll go first because I know you're torn. So, and I know I'm going to explain myself. All right.
Of course.
Is this recency bias? Perhaps. But we'll never know until the next season comes out and the season after that. Because if I keep changing my mind, then you know it's recency bias. But for now, it's true love. And my true loves are George and Charlotte. I think they're number one OTP. I think their love story is love story capital L, like that. I don't know, for me devotion is probably one of the most romantic things ever. Like I love when characters, that's why I love with Slow Burn, I love when characters are devoted to each other even through the obstacles, and they're like, I am with you no matter what. I like that in a couple, like unwavering devotion. I don't like the flip-floppy stuff, like I don't like that stuff. I like unwavering devotion, especially from a male character, if you know what I mean. It's what I look for in real life, and we never achieve that, but that's fine. It's fine. Let's not talk about that. I think, and I also think this is for me why they are OTP above Anthony, or why they've climbed up. For me, personally, I like George and Charlotte equally as characters. I'm in love with Charlotte. and I'm in love with George. I might like Charlotte a little better, like maybe just like a tiny bit better. Like I would hang out with her and stuff. I love you, Georgie. Sure. I love you, Georgie, baby girl. But you know, but it's like they're very like pretty like on level playing field there when it comes to me liking their character. I also think I love how vocal Charlotte is, and she has so like all the quotes that I said that are my favorite are actually hers, not so many from George, even though I do love his quotes as well. So I think it just like, to me, it's equal. When it comes to Canthony, even though I love them down, and there's nothing wrong with that, I love me some Canthony. I will say Anthony for me is the standout star. Just pull him out.
You're right.
Yeah, Anthony is my dude. Like, he's actually my favorite character in Bridgerton, I think, still. I don't know. I think he's still my favorite character over all the characters we've been introduced to, because I think I like understand him the best, and like I think we got the most. He has the most backstory.
You get him.
Like, I get him. We see each other. Yeah, like I get Anthony. I understand him. I can predict what he would do. And I feel like he's my favorite character. But I cannot say the same for Kate. And that's not like a diss to Kate. I just think like her season didn't allow her to like really flourish as much. Like, I think screen time wasn't given enough to develop. It's not even screen. I think they had a lot of characters. Like, she was there with her sister, she was there with her mom, she was there with Lady Danbury. Like, there's a lot of people who were taking up screen time at the same time as her, and it's hard to so I think that's why for me it goes George and Charlotte, Canthony, and then Simon, Daphne last.
I like her like, and then I think with the streak that we've been on with agreeing,
you're gonna disagree.
I am happy to tell. You're like, oh, what? You're like, this is not. You're like, this is not what we wanted.
Never happened to us. Oh my goodness.
I have to say, and a part of this is like from like, I know weeks ago when we talked about this, I was like, no, I'm a Canthony stan. Like, Kate and Anthony, they're everything to me. And now I'm like, Anne's right. Like, no, but I was like, ugh. Like, anyway, Charlotte and George have become the number one couple in the Bridgerton verse. That's what I'm going to call it.
The Bridgerverse, yeah.
The Bridgerverse. I agree with you. Like, I think I like them pretty much almost equally. Yes, I agree. There's something about Charlotte, like, maybe it's not only just because she's a woman. I just think like there's just something so lovely about her. Yeah. And George, we said it. He's got riz. He's sweet. He's safe. Like, he's just like a really good like safe, male lead.
Beautiful. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's just someone you're like. He's just comforting. Like, you know what? Like, so they've become like, I think they're like a strong couple. Yeah, I agree with what you're saying about Kate and Anthony. Like, there's like the seduction piece was amazing. Like, I loved it. That's why I liked season 2 so much. I think it says a lot about a show that can keep a slow burn going and keep me hanging on. For sure. And like, they had really good chemistry, of course. But I think like Charlotte and George have beat them out for me. Yeah. At least for now. You know,
yeah, true. We don't know. Season 3, they could see, because they haven't had the chance to be domestic as well. So,
yeah. And you know me, I'm like weak. So like, as soon as I see Anthony, I could be like, never mind. I'm like, back on my bullshit. I'm like, never mind if I lied.
I was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like a close race. Like, I'm telling you, like,
right.
Charlotte and George just passed them in this like race that's still going on for me. And I think it's because of like how much I liked the spin-off series, like the show.
Yes.
In last place. Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. Well, we
no, tell me. No. Let's.
You know.
Yeah, we know it's Daphne and Simon.
I also think for me, the subtle chemistry that, I was literally gonna say Corey and India. Oh my gosh, put me in the bin. I've told on myself. No, the subtle chemistry that George and Charlotte have is just like, like the way George looks at Charlotte.
Yeah,
it's just like, stop it. I just can't. I just can't. Like his whole, like when he was like, when she was like, George, like calm down about this portrait. It's not that serious. And he looked at her and he was like, yo, you're a rare jewel. I was like, what is wrong with you? He said that verbatim. I was like, why do you like this? Yo, you're a rare jewel. Like
that was funny.
He needs to calm down. I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah, it's too much. It's too much. Calm down, George.
And I like blush. How like I forgot to. I'm ranting. Okay, sorry guys. You can click off. Feel free to. We're just here for a good time and to talk. Okay. I love the parts where George is like telling her she's beautiful or whatever, and you notice how like she doesn't say anything. Like she usually goes like or she like smiles or like kind of like is shocked. Like she's kind of like taken like breathless by those comments from him. Like he's just like, girl, you the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. And she's like, oh. And she's like,
thank you.
Yeah, like she gets kind of shy. Like she's like, oh, like okay, whatever, which is so funny because I think that's kind of sad and tragical that she's more shy about those things. Like she's like really like, ooh, like, oh my gosh, what, you think I'm pretty? Like, oh, good with buttons? Oh my gosh. But then like you see later in her life, she declares it openly. Like she's like, look at me, I'm a beautiful woman, like be like me. Or she's like, you're lucky my face is a rare jewel. And I'm like, she's just quoting things that George has said to her like to herself and has like internalized it, which is so sweet. So sad as well, because I feel like she has to say that to herself because he's not there to say it to her anymore.
No, it's fair.
It's really sad.
Oh, the way you've just ended it off like that.
Why would I do
just that? Like she says it to herself because he can't say it to her.
Which is just my life on a regular basis.
Just self-validating, like you are strong, you are a jewel, you're a gem.
Sparkle, girl. Whatever comes up.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Okay, I know we're way over time, but I'm gonna ask another question because So season 3, what are we thinking? What do we think based off all this tea? How much do you think this will spill over into season 3? How much do you think the events that occurred in the spinoff are going to affect things in season 3?
So listen, I don't think with Charlotte and George, I don't think a whole lot, but I do think if Violet doesn't get a spinoff, we're going to see her probably interacting with some suitor. I feel like some man is gonna like show up, maybe a younger man, who knows, we'll see what happens with her. I don't know why, I just assume that, but like, or it could be like a widower or somebody. And I could see and I could see it like being something there. That's what I could see kind of like smearing over into season 3. I think exploring the Lady Danbury and Violet piece is probably going to surface in season 3. I'd be surprised if it doesn't.
That's the one I'm like, I feel like is almost guaranteed. Like I expect it.
If it doesn't happen, I'm going to be kind of like, what was the point of everything you did? And like, I'll be like, you wasted screen time. So trash. So I think in that sense, I think that those are parts of Queen Charlotte that I think is going to come back. I'm curious to see what they do with like Charlotte. Will she stay the same? And now that we have like a new insight, like
this is my thing with what I'm trying not to be so negative about season 3 because I have like a lot of my doubts and hangups, so I'm trying to be more optimistic, even though it's not my default setting. However, I do worry about. I don't know if they expected to have us in a chokehold with Queen Charlotte. I don't know if they thought that's what would happen. I don't know if they thought they would get like such a big like positive reaction to it, because a lot of the interviews I watched, like where they were talking about the show before it had aired, they were talking about like, well, if people don't like it, that's okay because it's a spinoff. It's not really supposed to be like part of like, that's the reason it's like a limited series apart from everything, because it's supposed to be different to Bridgerton. It's like they kept emphasizing that like this is not the same. It's not gonna have that like happy ending stuff that you love in Bridgerton. Like it's really its own thing, and it's like just an aside. However, because like we loved it down, you can't really treat it like just an aside. Like that stuff is gonna live rent free in our minds. So I feel like the character that Queen Charlotte is in season 3 is going to be really interesting. Let's say that. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be bad or good. It's just going to be interesting because I don't think you can have her be, she was like relatively one-dimensional as a character, if we're being honest, in the Bridgerton series, except for those glimpses we would get of George. Like, that's the parts where we would learn a little something about her. But other than that, she was pretty one-dimensional in the show. So, but now we know that that's not the case anymore. Like, I won't see her that way anymore. Even if she's acting one-dimensional, I'm not going to lie. I'm likely going to attribute, like, oh, well, she's doing that because blah, blah, blah. Like, I'm going to justify her actions and stuff. So I'm a little worried as to how that's going to be received, how her character's going to move, and if it's going to make sense. I don't know. I feel like it's just going to be complicated. As well as... I watched a video recently where someone brought up the point that because Penelope is the narrator of the show, things that are said by the narrator are automatically associated with her. So it's no longer just like, oh, the narrator is talking bish bash boosh bash. It's, I don't know where that came from. I've never said that.
I've never heard it.
It's like... Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
Oh my goodness. Oof. Anyways,
that was funny.
It's no longer that the narrator is just speaking to say things and to lead us. It's like, no, that's Penelope talking trash. You know what I mean? So when she's talking about like, oh, the royal babies, they can't make no babies because their wombs are dry, or oh, George's head is muddled and, you know, all over the place, and he's crazy and he's mad. Like, now that's no longer just King George. That's Georgie to me. And I'm like, are you coming for Georgie? Like, I feel like that's going to be a little complicated. I feel like what they're going to do, that's my this is where my prediction comes in, even though I've been talking for so long, is I think they're going to try to marry the two shows a little bit together. I think they're going to... have Penelope see Queen Charlotte vulnerable with King George in some way.
Oh.
I really think that's what's going to happen.
Like
and I think she's not going to write about it. I think that's going to be the whole point. I think, I think that's going to be a thing where they, like, because, you know, the queen is ready to behead her, you know?
Yeah, pretty much.
So like, I feel like the only thing that would make her not do that, realistically speaking, and as we've seen in the show, is when she's reminded of her love for George. That's usually when she stops doing crazy things. Like when she wanted to deny Daphne and Simon of their marriage license, she remembered that, like, oh, they have a friendship, and she's like, oh, like, you know, me and Georgie were in love like that, so she let it go. Same thing with Canthony. They were dancing very similarly to how her and George did, and that's when she let it go. And she's like, a beautiful couple, aren't they? So I feel like that's also going to be the same, like, thing that they do as well with Penelope, like, to stop the queen from beheading her, because let's be real, that's where the queen is at, honestly. It's going to be something to do with her and George. I don't know what, but that's my prediction.
That would be, I have to say, I think that will be really interesting. I'm just curious. I mean, you know how I feel when we discovered it was Penelope. Yeah. That was Lady Whistle. Remember I wanted it to be like a full-on operation.
I agree. I totally thought that was as well.
I wanted it to be like people in the palace. It's people on the streets, you know, like they're all working together to take down this like monarchy, because I thought maybe that's what they were trying to do. And then I was like, wait, no, they don't hurt Charlotte. Like, I was like,
right? I was like, just a little girl.
Or tear down the society, not just the monarch. You know what I mean? Like, I could see that, because it is a very unforgiving society until it is forgiving. You know what I mean? And so, and it's only forgiving when they see love. So it's like they live in like some fantasy, right? But I am curious to see how they spin it with Penelope, because I didn't really want it to be her. I won't lie. And I know that's probably in the books, but like the show can change things. And I kind of wanted Lady Whistledown to be either a character we didn't quite know yet, or like somebody who was like there the whole time, but not like a Dan from Gossip Girl situation. Unfortunately, that's what we're getting with it being Penelope. So I am curious. I very interested to see what this like Penelope and Colin situation looks like. Because this couple I'm not looking forward to, Anne, but I'm gonna watch it obviously.
Obviously, I'm going. They could make the next cast person a shoe, and I would be seated. So like, it doesn't matter. Right. And Penelope's better than a shoe. That's not what I'm saying. But
of course.
But no offense. But I think, I'm curious to see. I'm not gonna lie. I am very, very doubtful that Colin is going to be anywhere on my top couples list. I don't.
He might be below. They might be below Daphne and Simon.
They might be, and I'm really scared.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. But you know what? They've surprised me again. That's what I keep going back on. That's what I fall back on. Again, we hated Anthony. Hated his little gut.
We did hate it.
Him and his sideburns could have gotten out of here, and we would have been happy.
And now we're in love.
And now we're in love, and he's my favorite character. So look at me, a clown. You know, I clearly don't know what I'm talking about, and they might be able to bamboozle me because they have been bamboozling me. That is the constant theme. They bamboozled me with Anthony, and they bamboozled me with Queen Charlotte because I didn't think it was gonna slay like that. So I hope that they are 0 for 3 or 3 for... No, 0 for 3 means that you missed 3 times. Oops. I hope they third time is also the charm. And they surprise me. And I hope that Pollen can take its place rightfully above Simon and Daphne and then under Canthony. That's probably where I'm going to see them. Like, honestly, if they do a good job, I think that's the highest they can do.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
Honestly, to be determined. And we will give everybody what they want when we make another episode.
Which is what you want, guys. You want like a 2-3 hour episode. That's what you want, right?
We're like the modern day Lady Whistledown.
We are.
Whistledown.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure. Yeah.
We can have empathy for Penelope because here we are. We be talking.
Exactly. But I was out here like being like, burn her pen. I was like, burn her parchment. Also,
remember, I just want to point out that in season 1, I called her out from the jump, and you guys were like, no, she's gonna be with her best friend's brother, and I was like, bleh. I was like, it's not gonna work. I was already not on board from season 1, so
no, it's fair. Season 2 Penelope was worse in my opinion. Like more unbearable. But hopefully, you know what? Costumes are looking good from the spoilers I've seen.
Slaying. I love the first looks. It's looking.
They've
really
got
good.
her out of yellow. Thank
Beautiful.
God. They're like giving her like that sage green, that like lilac. Oh, she's gonna look good. I know she's gonna look good. She's a beautiful woman.
That's not the issue at all. The looks are gonna slay.
The issue is like the Penelope.
I'm actually also, I will say, I'm very curious. This is the part where I'm excited. Like, aside from, I'm not so sold on the romance part, not so sold on all of that stuff right now for season 3. However, I'm really excited to follow Penelope because I don't think I know her. I can say that definitely because she has her ego with like her alter ego with Lady Whistledown, which is completely different to how she acts when she's like with Colin, at least. Like she's freaking like doting and like doe-eyed and can't speak words because she's like in love with him. And I feel like with Penelope is such a big personality that like obviously it's hard to tell exactly where Penelope's at. Like I can tell Penelope has a good sense of humor. That's very clear to me. I can tell that Penelope feels trapped. That's very clear to me as well. But I don't actually know like where her personality actually lies because we've been teetering amongst like so many different versions of her that I'm excited to see what she's like when she's alone. Like I feel like this is going to be the first time we really get her alone, like in her own thing, how she's going to operate. So looking forward to that.
Oh yes.
But anyways, this was our long-winded review of Queen Charlotte from the number one biggest fans of the show, probably, of India Amartufio and of Corey Milcreast. Again, we love you. We love you so much. So much. So we watch you everywhere. Please visit Canada. We will be there. We'll be there.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
That'd be crazy. Oh my goodness.
Anyways. I would love that. Like Comic-Con, but Bridgerton.
Oh.
Like,
jeez.
I'd be there.
I would be there. I'd sell my left kidney. For this. Yeah, actually, like, it's a little bit... Like, I've never been so intense about, like, cast interviews, like, knowing what they're doing. Like, I usually don't care like that, but... Damn.
Yeah. I cared this time, though.
I cared so much.
Oh, man.
All right, guys. We're going to finally end this episode because I'm going to have to edit this, so...
I really want to preface, Anne and I, before going into this, we're like, we're not going to go over time. we're gonna be done within like hour and a half or something like that, and we've went an hour over. But you know what? It's fine. I think people need this. You need they do. You need the girlies to debrief.
And you haven't had an episode in a long time, so just watch this parts.
Yeah. Honestly.
All right. Thank you so much, Dom, for being a guest star.
Thank you for having me.
Really appreciate it. Always a pleasure. To my Bridgerton baddie, Bridgerton babes. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.